Hello friends, I welcome you all to the Facebook live session brought to you exclusively by the Welingkar Hybrid team. My name is Venkatesh and I'm a part of the DLP section here at Welingkar. Today we have the most knowledgeable, highly resourceful and the most sought after Professor Welingkar with us. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So before we go ahead with the topic, I want you to introduce yourself to a lot of our visitors who are newcomers and who are from the friends list of our students. So why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
Hello everybody, good afternoon to all of you and thanks for logging in. And this is Professor Welingkar. Many of you know me, some of you may not be knowing me, but it doesn't matter. I'll give a very brief introduction about myself. By qualification, I'm a mechanical engineer from Bombay University. I have about 17 years of experience in industry. I work for various organizations, startups as well as MNCs in capacities ranging from production to materials to market research to concept selling. For the past about more than two and a half decades, I have been on my own. I am my own training company. I branched out into becoming a corporate trainer. I'm a certified trainer in neuro-linguistic programming and also in mind mapping and lateral thinking. Besides this, I'm associated with WeSchool for the last about 2 decades, and that's a really good privilege. And this is perhaps my end video session I'm doing with you all, thanks to the distance learning DLP department. Now let's start off by talking about the topic proper. So what we're going to be doing is Venkatesh who's with me. It's Venkat and Venkat here for the matter. Two of us will be having something like a chat session, right? Now let me set the ball rolling by talking about the title itself. Today's title is Coping with Life Pressures. It appears so simple, so easy, a cliched term, a cliched thing, which you must be giving a yawn and saying, oh, this is something I've heard before. Yeah, I agree with you. But the approach to this is going to be very different. With my vast experience in industrial training, I'm a leadership coach for large companies. I'm also doing behavioral coaching for very senior people at companies. And there are many smaller issues about big people which are unaddressed. I repeat, there are bigger, smaller issues of very big people which are unaddressed. Now, what are these small issues? These small inverted commas are not really small. For example, on a weekend, a very busy senior manager of an IT company where I was retraining had promised his son to take him to the movie, the latest film. And he's been promising this for the past about 3 or 4 weeks. And finally, he buys a ticket and he's about to take his son for the movie. So he has to leave office at the appointed time, 5:36, whatever time. Now this gentleman literally struggles to leave his office. Does this reflect your life? Some of you listening to me, maybe. Now he makes it a point to struggles and quits the premises of the company and then finally goes out, fetches his son and wife and goes to the film. Guess what happens at the movie house? I'm sure some of you must be guessing. Right. He goes to the movie house with a laptop. His wife and son both are in the movie house watching the film, and this gentleman is sitting in the lounge having popcorn after popcorn and whatever you have, and he's doing his office work. He comes back and reports to me. I'm his behavioral coach. Tells me that with a lot of jubilant tone, yes, finally I went for a movie. I said, wow, amazing. Then he explains what he did, and then he says, I made it. I asked him, did you enjoy the film? No, I didn't see the film, but I took my son for the movie. He was happy. Are you sure? Fortunately or unfortunately for him, his wife is also a colleague in the same company. And she comes and tells me, look Venkat, we went for the film, but this man was sitting outside. He might as well be better off being in the office. Then I confronted him. Confrontation is something that behavioral trainers do. So when I confronted him, I asked him, how was the quality of your work at the movie house? Because he was sitting and working there. He said, I wasn't happy sitting in the movie house and working. At the same time, I was not happy having let down my family. Does this happen to some of you? Does it happen to some of you mentally in one place and physically elsewhere and vice versa? Do you go through these pressures? I am talking to you right now, I am in the moment and I am here and now. I have a lot of things to do. I had a lot of things to do before I came here. I have a lot of things to do later. Lots. Now, could there be a pressure of all these things cramping up? Maybe. So here I am trying to give you some thoughts which will open you up into doing something good for yourself. What Venkatesh used the word about me, resourceful state. Now that's one favorite term of mine which I use in every training I do. Now what do you mean by resourceful? Resourceful means that state, that particular mental state, physical state, emotional state, which keeps you ready for any action. Action need not be something to do with climbing a mountain or trying to do some Herculean task. It's about ready to take any emotion. If it's a party, I'm ready to go in the party, enjoy and come back and still feel resourceful. My energy is not drained. If I have to face a very difficult situation like hospitalization of a near and dear one, then I might go there and not feel drained and yet be proactive. Action with abundant energy is resourcefulness. How do you like it, friends? Some of you listening to me may be already doing it. Right? So I'm inviting you to understand this discussion step by step by step by step, taking you from one position to the other, and I want you to jot it down. It's not just giving away of knowledge or gyan. It's something experiential which many of us are following. To give you an example, my day starts at 5:30 in the morning and it ends not earlier than 11:30, maybe 12, with a series of varied activities. When I say varied, means each activity has got different demand of energy and faculties. Now, I could be stressed out, I could have a lot of pressure into my life. It was once upon a time, long back. But over the period of time, I learned the art of how to cope with these pressures. So let's begin now. You can jot down in your books, friends, that each one of us, you and me, broadly, Venkat, we have something like 4 zones of our life, 4 zones. You can draw a circle and the circle has got 4 parts. Cut it into 4 quadrants. And these 4 quadrants, each one of them are very important in contributing to your overall personality growth. So now what happens is these 4 quadrants, each of them are contributing to your life. One quadrant is contributing to what is called as the spiritual you, the spiritual self, SP. The second one is contributing to the intimate self or the intimate zone, you call it. Spiritual zone, intimate zone. The third one is work zone or a professional zone. And the fourth one is social zone. Broadly, there could be further classifications. Just to give you a gist of, you can scan yourself and ask yourself this question: do I have these 4 zones? And you get the answer yes. Although it may not be very compartmentalized and very clear at this point of time. So Venkat, what really happens is these 4 zones are something with which you are living, I am living. And all of us will agree, I'm sure you will agree at times, you find yourself spending more time in the professional zone or the work zone. Or maybe you're spending more time, if you're a person who's into meditation or trying to get into self-discovery, you may spend a lot of time in the spiritual zone. It's possible that some people spend more time in the intimate zone, which is the home. Or it's possible that some people are spending more time in the social zone, which is anything outside the workplace and outside the home. Now, these 4 constitute our life to begin with. This is the first part of the discussion which everyone needs to know. Right?
I would just like to ask you a question here. Since you mentioned about the 4 zones, is there any specific zone which is the most important or something of that sort?
Very good, very lovely. This is exactly what I was about to tell you. Thanks for this question. Make a guess. When does your life begin? Your life begins from the spiritual zone. Me and myself. If me and myself is not relaxed, if me and myself is not having its energy balance, I would never be able to manage my home to begin with, because I'm interacting with other people. I won't be able to do justice to my work, and I would also, last but not the least, be a good social creature. So, to answer your question, it's a spiritual zone from everything starts. And that's where this whole talk of this afternoon is focused on. When I say spiritual, let's not get a wrong impression that it's about going to a spiritual camp or sitting down and doing some chanting or meditation. It's not so. It's about you and your self-discovery, which is an important aspect of today's 21st century high-pressure living. It's not about going to a yoga camp for 21 days, feeling relaxed and coming back and then feel stressed out. No. Your true meditation, your true relaxation is seen on a working day when the pressure is coming to you, how meditatively, how spiritually you're able to take it, centered with yourself. Right, Venkat? Now this is something that must be happening to some of us sometimes, and that's the area where very few people pause and focus. So it starts with that, right? Now, taking further, friends. Every one of us in all the four zones, we fulfill or try to fulfill what are popularly called as duties and responsibilities. Two terms which I wanted to record. Duties and responsibilities. Right? So, what are these two? Any guess, Venkat, would you like to throw some light? What do you think would be a duty, what would be a responsibility? Very often we use these terms,
So, to me, what instantly comes to my mind is that, duty is something you feel that it's enforced on you, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas the same kind of work, you want to do it with more care and with more belongingness, could be labeled as a responsibility.
Okay, maybe that's the way you have just understood the whole thing. Maybe correct, maybe true. Let me guide the whole thought process without branding and labeling that there's a duty or there's a responsibility. Let's say, for example, now you're taking this session, you're helping me with the session. Here you are like an anchor talking to me. You can take it as a duty or you can take it as a responsibility. Now, which of the two is you think you're doing right now?
I would go for a responsibility.
Right. Now, when you're taking a responsibility, why not a duty?
Because my very own idea says that, it would be a very formal. My involvement will not be 100% if I take it as a duty.
Okay, let me put you another related question. You're married?
Yes, I am.
So, since you're married, you have a duty as a husband toward your wife. Is it a duty or a responsibility?
So, ideally, it's a combination of both.
Right. Now, when you have to, there are certain, as a husband, you need to fulfill certain things which he would like to be able to do as a married man, as a husband. So, do you find yourself doing it effortlessly?
There are, to answer that question very honestly, there are situations and things where it needs a lot of effort. Yes.
Are there things which you are doing as a duty effortlessly? Some duties, as a husband, maybe as a father to your children, as a child to your parents. Are there some duties which you have adopted very smoothly, doing well?
Yes.
Give an example.
Dropping the children to school.
Dropping the children to the school is a duty of taking up lives. So you find it very nice to do that every day.
Right.
And come hello, high water, you would do it anyway.
Right.
Right? Now, I'll give you my version of duty and a responsibility. A little different from what Venkatesh has just discussed with me. A duty is something which I take upon myself willingly. Underline the word willingly. A duty is something which I take upon myself willingly and it internalizes inside me. Underline the word internalizes. When I take up a responsibility which is given to me from the outside, when I take up a responsibility which is given to me from the outside, I internalize it, I accept it. In my definition, it becomes a duty. And when I do a task with this duty in my mind, to my understanding and experience, this does not stress me. Now, if I will take this example which my colleague Venkatesh was just talking, when he's early morning, the kids are raring to go to the school, or are they raring? We do not know. But Venkatesh is certainly raring to drop the kids to the school. Every morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the working days he is doing it. And that's a duty. Wait a minute, is it a duty? he has taken it as a duty and he's enjoying doing it. Now ask him, do you feel a pressure when you drop your kids in the school? Any morning have you felt a pressure? Rarely. It's because he loves to do it. Because he has adopted it. Because he has internalized this responsibility as mine. So when I take a responsibility as mine, internalize it, I find a meaningfulness in doing it. That becomes a duty. And then I tell people, Karthik is there right behind the camera. I says, Karthik says, sir, how are you going to take this session? Karthik is mine. And you take, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. Now that becomes a duty. The tonality of what I'm saying, the way I do it, the involvement, it shows. Haven't you come across executives in your own company or people at your own home, your mom, your dad, your wife or husband, who is actually working like crazy whole day and they don't feel a pressure of living? Have you come across such people? I have. Lots of them. And I wonder what makes them tick. It's a sense of belonging. So let me come back to those two terminologies, duties and responsibilities. Responsibility is something that comes to me, it's given to me. You as management students, you've learned in principles of management what I call as responsibility, authority, power and accountability, right? So with every role that you and I are playing, Venkatesh, we are given certain authority and responsibility. Now if I take the responsibility half-heartedly, or if I take it as a pressure, then the pressure certainly builds up. I may not like the type of job, possibly. I may not really want to do it so well because I don't like it, and many such factors may weigh on my mind. When this happens, guess what is the quality of my work? It's very poor. And more importantly, I get stressed. And my stress, my dear friends, as a behavioral trainer, I can tell you, a stress shows in the behavior in people. And that too with people, surprisingly, with people whom you care for. Now, when a responsibility is given to you, and responsibilities are given to you, left, right and center by in all the four zones of your life. Spiritual zone, intimate zone, work zone, as well as in the social zone. So when responsibilities are given to you, we take responsibilities. And when we take responsibilities, we do not pause to ask a question, hey, is this my responsibility? Today we are working in a workplace that's a crazy zoo. Practically any company, anywhere you go, you find work is coming left, right and center and people are spinning like tops. At the end of the day, when I ask people, in some corporates, what have you done today? Could you just take a run through of today's activities? They are able to give you something very broad with gaps in between. They can't recollect what they did between say 10 and 11:30. They can't recollect exactly whom they met and what type of food they had at lunch. It's quite surprising. I thought it was a joke, but it happens. There are people who go through short-term memory loss. 1 week back, same time, what did you do when you ask some people? They are not sure about it. Now, why I am telling you all these things? This is manifesting in your life and my life every day. When I gave this module, when I structured this module, which I am taking as a 2-day workshop, actually I had this in mind. So when responsibilities are coming to me, how many of these responsibilities I take it as my own, adopt it, internalize it, and then make it as a duty? This young gentleman, Karthik, is helping us, right? Now he can sit there with an idea that it is my responsibility to run the FB streaming. But if Karthik decides to internalize it, adopt it as my work, would he be enjoying or not? Which I can see him do right now. Now this is something which is an attitude. So coming to the title, coping with life pressure. Coping with life pressure has a lot to do with the attitude with which you take the so-called pressure. I use the word so-called. A pressure is a pressure when I think it's a pressure. This 25 minutes to 30 minutes I'm going to be talking in front of you, I can see there's a pressure. And when I see there's a pressure, all of you who are watching me can make out whether Venkat is going through pressure or not. Now you make up your mind whether I'm going through my pressure or not. What do you think, Venkatesh?
Sir, I don't see any pressure in me.
Okay, fine. So Venkatesh doesn't see, and I can experience that I am actually taking this whole session with a lot of joy. It's fine. To the extent to which I sometimes feel, why only half an hour? Why don't we take it for 1 hour? It sounds very stupid, right? But the fact is, people who are involved in their duties, take your mother, take your wife, take your children perhaps, take your own self. Some of you are watching this, you could be one of them. There are certain things you take to the duty. Like early morning, 5:30, come hell or high water, rain or shine, it is my duty to see that I go for my morning walk. I enjoy it. I adopt it as mine. It's a responsibility that came to me because of my health. You have to keep yourself fit. So I said, let's take it up. So a lot of things you have to do as a part of your position in life, right? So Venkat, you as an executive in Welingkar, for example, you as a member of the society where you live, there are certain responsibilities that are given to you. Now you have a choice not to take up a responsibility. Let's talk about that now. Suppose I would like to run away from this video session. Suppose I tell Venkatesh, I can't come. I'm chickening out. Or perhaps I'm not free. What am I doing? On this appointed date, this is the only date available. I'm saying N-O, no. Tell me friends, ask yourself a question. Whenever a responsibility has been given to you and you have not been fully doing it, what's the outcome? Venkatesh, what has been your observation around it?
The outcome is ideally a shabby job.
And then by and by, what does the management do?
They find out quality glitches and eventually they do not appraise it.
There you are. So what happens eventually? If you do not take up a responsibility because of this attitude, lots of things happening within you, by and by it shows in the way you run or not run the show. And then gradually, they find a replacement for you. 99% of the cases of replacement happen because people do not adopt responsibilities as their own, as a duty. When your bosses keep telling you, get a sense of belonging, get a sense of ownership, it's important for you to take an attitude to do the work with a sense of belonging and with a sense of adoption. Lots of duties we have to do. Lots of responsibilities are given to us. For every 100 responsibilities given to me, as an average individual, I tend to take, only 5 or 6 as my duties, which means out of the 100, 95 of them I do it with varying degrees of feeling happy sometimes and not feeling happy sometimes. Now, does this sound theoretical? Certainly not. It's highly practical. Only you can heal yourself. Only you can handle your pressure. You may go for yoga 6 to 7 in the morning. You may go for some cardio later on in the evening. You may go for all sorts of camps. But what's the quality of your life? In my training program, present batch that is going on Venkatesh, very interestingly, on Sunday we had the session. One gentleman who's in the mid-40s, very senior person, he's a director in a company. He looks very fit, so he was talking about work-life balance, and he said that I was perfectly okay, except that on a day when I was doing my cardio, I suddenly felt a certain congestion in my chest. And then he asked me, Venkat, do you think I'm healthy? I said, that's not an answer which I can give you. What is your calibration about your own health? Then I asked him, what is your lifestyle? He says, in a day, every day, these are his words. When I'm doing a task, while I'm doing the task, I think about the next 5 tasks. When I finish the task number 1, I go to the task number 2, I think about the next 5. So constantly his mind is racing into the next and the next and the next and the next and the next. So while he's having his shower in the morning, he's already thinking about the breakfast, about the route he's going to take to go to the office, and about what he's going to do in the office first thing in the morning. And he thought it was planning. His mind was preoccupied all the time. People who are doing their duties joyfully, their minds are preoccupied with the joy of doing the duty. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I right?
Absolutely.
At the time when you take your kids, you take them on a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler?
I take them on a two-wheeler.
On a two-wheeler. So these kids are all, popped up for the day, and Venkatesh puts them on the pillion, he sits there and he goes and asks ask him, he himself is admitting that it's joyful. The emotion is one of joy when you do a duty willingly. Coping with life pressure, simple formula. All you need to do is to sort out your actions for the day into two categories. One category, you have to classify these are my duties. As the first step, which are the ones which are duties? The ones which I enjoy doing no matter what happens. You may want to take your grandmother to the temple every day morning. It's something which grandchildren love in some homes. No matter what happens, they may go to the lecture late, but they take the grandmother to the temple. If that's what you are doing every day, joyfully tick mark and put it in the duty list. Then there's a big list of responsibilities. Don't fool yourself, don't tell yourself lies. Write down all the responsibilities that are given to you. Responsibilities that come from outside, it comes to you, and depending upon who's giving it, what's the quality of the work to be done, and the level of interest you have, you may take it willingly or unwillingly. Now this list of responsibilities, sit down and do a small analysis. Take up those responsibility records which have just been given to you, which may not involve yourself at all. So just tick mark, just put a cross there. This is not my responsibility. Now mind you, this is not a cliche statement which a junior tells a senior in the organization. No. This is about you scanning yourself. It may not be your responsibility to do something, but you're doing it. Since you're doing it, you're getting quite tense about it. For example, there's a neighbor in your neighborhood who tells you, Venkatesh, when you're dropping your kids to the school, drop my kids also. Quite likely. And you being a loving neighbor, good neighbor, you may want to drop those kids as well. But do you know what happens? He has to wait for those kids because the kids are getting late, getting dressed up by their mother. Now, Venkatesh is wanting to do his duty of dropping his children in the school, which is on time, which he enjoys doing. But here suddenly an intrusion has come because he has taken this as a responsibility, inadvertently. Venkatesh has to pause. You don't have to be rude with your neighbor. Auntie, ma'am, this is what is the thing, I need to go now. We do something about it. And you go. Depending upon whether he is wanting to take it as a responsibility or not, Venkatesh can actually devise a means by which those children also come on time. Maybe he takes his car and drops it. Maybe. Now remember, before you accept any responsibility, scan yourself. You don't have to be rude and tell people I won't take it. But ask yourself, can I take this up and do it joyfully? This is the words I ask myself whenever I take up something. I've been doing it for donkey's years as a trainer. Whenever work is given to me, I pause first and ask myself a question. Will I do it joyfully? Can I do it joyfully? Rather, over the period of so many years, whatever comes to me, I switch on into my joy of doing it and I do it. It becomes a duty. Is it possible for all of us to do that? Everyone can do it. Now, what are the life pressures you go through typically? Wake up early morning, you get up, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, well, I have to go to the office, to the workplace, and at the same time, you have to go for your morning walk or something. So, I've seen people in the morning walk, they're more tense. A friend of mine was talking to me a few days back, and he's very tense because he says, I have to reach home by 8 o'clock, otherwise I'll get late for my work. And guess, is the quality of morning walk really good? No, he's stressed out. The purpose of the morning walk is not to stress out. So now you get up in the morning, you want to go to the office, and then when you go to the office, you got the whole day scheduled, your to-do notes, and then that is followed by interruptions, as you know. And with the interruptions, certain things which you were supposed to do is not being done. And then you get a call from your family, let's go out so place around in the evening. So you leave office and you go there, and then you start getting into those activities which is to do with your family. Then what happens? Suddenly you go and meet friends while you are going out to the shopping center or something. Now all these become the interaction which you are doing. On a typical working day in a city like Mumbai, for example, we drop many things because we say we can't do it. Fair enough. And in the same Mumbai, I've come across people who work the whole day. At the same time, they are able to do so many activities before 9 o'clock and after 5 o'clock also. Now these are the people who know how to cope with their work. life pressures. It becomes a pressure only when you think it's a pressure. So if a work is given to you and you take up the work, you have a responsibility towards yourself to convert the work into a joyful working. Let's face it, whatever work is given to you, or if you take up a role, there are two ways of doing it. One is joyfully, the other one is other than joyfully. And most of us get caught up in the other than joyfully. I won't say sorrowfully, but other than joyfully. And so we are not really into it. A simple thing, like sipping a cup of tea. Those of you who have been to Japan, you know about the tea ceremony in Japan. A simple thing like sipping a cup of tea, it takes about an hour and a half, and the whole thing is done so slowly, so meticulously. It's a ritual. And people who have attended those tea parties in Japan, they've come back and told me this is one of the most awakening moments. It's been a moment where we are really feeling relaxed. And who are these people doing? Not the people who have got all the time in the world. The hard pressurized, the hard-working Japanese executives, managers, very senior people, they go for these parties. So friends, the point that is being coming across to all of you is two parts I spoke about. 4 zones of your life, then the demarcation between what is called a duty and responsibility, and now I take you to the next part, which is to do with your own personality development. So Venkat, what do you think is personality? As you have experience in the scene, do you think personality is something which is to do with the dress you're wearing, the shirt you're wearing, the coat you're wearing? What comes to your mind in the line of thinking of this discussion?
So personality to me, the immediate thing that comes to my mind is a fusion of various attitudes, fusion of various behaviors, and a fusion of various thought processes that you carry.
Very right, almost right. Now, why am I using this word personality in a management context? Make a note of it. A personality has a lot to do with the role you play. R-O-L-E, write it down. We all play multiple roles to achieve multiple goals. Make a note of it. We all play multiple roles to achieve multiple goals. So there is a role, draw an arrow, and then at the end of the arrow you write a goal, G-O-A-L. Right now I am playing the role of a facilitator with the goal of putting this topic across to the audience. Right? Right? So this role is being played by me to achieve the goal of putting the topic before the audience effectively, underline the word effectively, which means the audience have to accept me as adding value to them. Right? Now, this role I'm playing demands, every role demands certain type of inner disposition and also external manifestation. Now, this role, being a role of a WeSchool faculty who's giving a talk, it demands more or less this type of a garb which I'm wearing right now. A jacket, formals, and then I need to conduct myself in straight. So this is the external part of personality which is there in every role that we play. You're going to the temple, the place of worship, you're going to the church or the mosque. Do you go dressed to the occasion or not? Do we do that? Right? Now why do we do it? Because every role has got a external disposition to the role. It's like an actor acting a role. Imagine you're playing the role of Superman. As we know Superman, you have to wear the cape and you have to be like the Superman, right? Now similarly, every role has got what is called the role personality. This role personality, Venkat, becomes much more effective when the person is into the role. And for me to be into the role, I need to take the role as my duty, not a responsibility. Coming back to the discussion. So when I take it as a duty and not a responsibility, what happens to me? I am living the role to the best. Every rules and the direction of the role are clearly understood by me. I'm accepting it, I'm living it. So this is a personality. It's got two parts, mind you, the inner and the outer. The inner is driving the outer, not the other way around. I can come dressed like this, But if my inner is not ready, it will show on my face. It will show on the quality of the interaction I'm having with you and with the audience. And this is what many people miss out on. Right? So, taking the discussion further, one needs to understand how to develop one's personality. Personality is something that happens role to role, it changes. Right now, you're a he is an anchor with me. That's a role personality he's playing with me. After this session is over, he will go back to his workplace. He will play the role personality of somebody who's doing his work that is allocated to him. Then he'll go home. So every time you're transiting to a role, this role personality is right. Now, after the role personality, what happens? When the personality development takes place, what do you mean by development? I am making this role better and better day by day, so that I play the role effortlessly and joyfully. Right? And in that, we also come across what is called as a work-life balance. Now, what is this work-life balance? It's a cliche term. 21st century, every organization, every HR people talk about work-life balance. Is going to an office at 9 o'clock, working up to 5 o'clock, is that the work? Is that the only work you're talking about? No. You mean to say the work you're doing at home is not a work? And what is this life? How is it different from work? This terminologies need to be understood. When you make your guess, what do you think is this work and life? How are they different? Any guess?
Actually, just rung the bell to me now.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, HR categorically says that work is work, and you have a life outside of work.
And so what is
what? So, I think I am not accepting that the work is also an integral part of my life.
Precisely. I think Venkat said it. See, work-life balance is, people are demarcating that work is separate and life is separate. That means I've got duties and responsibilities ABCD here, duties and responsibilities ABCD there. There's only one Venkat. There's only one Venkatesh sitting here. Not too many of them. There's not a Venkatesh who's a WeSchool manager. There's not a Venkatesh who's a parent to his 2 children. There's not another Venkatesh who's a son to his parents. There's only one Venkatesh. Now this one Venkatesh is going through a state of emotion within him. Do you all agree? If one segment of his life, spiritual segment, intimate segment, social segment or work segment has a problem, he's upset in that particular segment, will it affect the other 3 zones or not? Definitely, right? Now this is what many people go through. The work pressure, coping with life pressure is the pressure which one develops because of the distaste in the work or the responsibilities given in some zone of his life. So I would like to just ask a question to all of you. Are your 4 zones balanced? Now please don't talk about quality time, which is a very again cliche term. I don't have to sit for, when I have 4 zones and I have 16 hours of wakefulness. Venkat, one company executive was telling me 16 divided by 4. 4 hours in the office, 4 hours in intimate zone, 4 hours in this thing. It's not about quantity. It's about the feel and the quality. I'm sure you've done some meditation sometime.
Yes.
So when you do a meditation, have you noticed something? You're asked to close your eyes and go into a trance or something, and for about maybe 15-20 minutes, you're completely feel relaxed. After 15-20 minutes, when you wake up after the relaxation, is it not a great feeling? Is it not equal to about 8 hours of sleep sometimes? Now that is the type of thing you're talking about. So I don't have to really work for the so-called prescribed 8 hours to give out the output. I don't have to really go and spend 2 hours with my child playing seesaw and other things in the garden. The point is, there is no work-life balance. Because if you take your work as a duty, you enjoy your work, you'll also know when to cut off, when to start. If you take every function of your life, every responsibility that comes to you, you know how to start, how to finish joyfully, then things become easier. The trouble starts when you do not know what are your responsibilities. The trouble is more compounded when you do not know what are your duties. Responsibilities come first, they get internalized into duties. This internalization needs to have a certain type of an emotional base. And the emotional base is simple, Venkat. All it needs to do is it has to go through what is called as acceptance, and you have to put it in a space of willing to do it. The moment the willingness comes, it's not about having a lovely surrounding like this, it's an attitude out here. You give me a lovely office like this, I'll show you a number of people who are disgusted, who are not leaving their office. I've been a production engineer in my first part of my career, and not a very lovely place to work, but in the production center, I don't come across people who have been extremely motivated despite all the noise and the sound and the fury and the grease and the fumes. So it's about attitude, right? So friends, I want you to ponder over this. I want you to think about the importance of coping with life pressures. Now just by going to a yoga class, your life pressure is already coped up. It's all in your thoughts. It's in the way, your attitude of taking things into yourself. And how are you taking those things and how are you putting them into action? I would prescribe to all of you. There are a lot of people who say, sir, I want to achieve this. I want by the age of 40, I want to become a CEO. I want to retire. It's, according to me, is the most stupid thing to do. You have a certain body, you have a certain mind, there's a certain way of going in your life. If you don't enjoy being what you're doing, you'll land up in the hospital. Okay. Now I would rather say that whatever is you want to do in your life, those things, sort it out and do it joyfully one at a time. There's a thing called multitasking that people don't talk about. Multitasking is stressful if you do everything little and leave them alone. When you do everything little, your mind is also cluttered and you're not joyfully working towards things. This particularly happens in service sector. So my contention, my request to all of you who are listening to me is, ask yourself a question. Am I coping with my work pressures, with my life pressures? Which of the 4 zones I'm focusing more on? Whenever you focus on any one of the 4 zones more, the other 3 will start pressurizing you. And vice versa. So one has to understand one very important aspect of it, that in order to balance your life. And the only way to balance is make an audit about your duties and responsibilities. And once you are making an audit about your duties and responsibilities, it becomes very easy for you to say, this is the thing I can take up, this is the thing I can't take up, this is what I can do joyfully. I know one executive, a very, very senior manager in a pharma company, Venkatesh. Years back I used to meet him, he is now retired. This gentleman was handling 3 responsibilities, 3 portfolios were given to him. He was a vice president. And it's a 500 crore company those days. He was a vice president for finance, for administration, and also for HR. Early morning you meet him at about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. He'll be as fresh, as collected as you see him late evening at 6 o'clock. And for a MNC pharma company, this gentleman used to ensure that he left office at 6. And between the time when he entered the office and he left the office, he used to work and finish all the tasks joyfully to completion. And 6 o'clock, not a minute more, not a minute less, he used to just leave the office. Saturday, Sunday, you cannot find him coming to the office and doing something extra. He's with his family or he does what he wants to do. Now this appears to be ideal, but that gentleman took a choice. Have you made your choice? Ask this question to yourself. If you make your choice, no pressure is a pressure, you will know how to handle pressure. Only a few more minutes. Yeah, so friends, I want to ask you a question. Are you making a choice? I spoke about this friend of mine, busy senior manager in a company, and how he is managing himself so well. Do you make your choice? Now don't give excuses. I have EMIs to pay every month, so I can't take up this, I have to take up this pressure. I have to travel long distances all the way to the deep suburbs of the city. Now these are all excuses if you ask me. But Venkat, they are realities. What do you think about this? Are they excuses or realities? Am I trying to trivialize your issues, friends? No, certainly not. Let's explore, okay? Venkat, what do you think? When somebody tells me I have to travel long distance, I have daily pressures. You think they are excuses? You think they are on the right paths of being happy in what they are doing? No, sir. No. Have you come across people who are still traveling long distances and yet happy?
Yes.
Yes. So it's the way I hold the long distance travel. It's the way I make my choice internally about whatever is given to me as a task to do. If I take it as a duty, I have to do it every day anyway. Anyway, every day I have to go to the long distance to travel from my work to my home and back. Now, if this is accepted by me, adopted by me, and also I do it joyfully, then I'll find ways and means of doing it better. This is what is the hallmark of an innovative person. When I teach this subject, innovation management, I tell this to people, look, first learn to be creative, less rigid, less critical about things which are not working the way you want them to work. So when I am less critical about the things which are not working the way I am not wanting it to work, then I pause, and then gradually I find that I am removing those unwanted things which I am doing unnecessarily and doing only the ones which I have to do. One is to make a choice. It comes to that, right? Maybe would you like to conclude and ask some questions after going through this? Some provocations I want from you, so that the audience also gets engaged.
So quickly, what is the role of relationships in